Welcome to South of Left Field. My name is Jimmy, coming to you from the basement. I guess it's going to be my new recording studio. Unity. Now, it's really kind of interesting to hear commonly after an election a cry of, we need unity. We need the two sides of the aisle to reach out to each other. Now look, to think that the two sides of our little upper class duopoly, our government, the Republicans and the Democrats, are somehow going to have a Kumbaya moment. You know, let's meet around the campfire, hold hands and sing songs, is really ridiculous. And to argue that there should be unity is to ignore the reality of human nature. I mean, you look at the more functional countries in the world, the countries that are more democratic than the United States, and there are a fair number of them. And what you'll see is not unity. I mean, you'll still see finger pointing, you'll still see name calling. Brits are real good at that. Matter of fact, if you want to get downright nasty, go poke a Scot. But leaving all that aside, just looking at things in general, the reason that there's multiple parties in these democracies is because there isn't unity. So you're not really going to get unity, meaning groups moving in lockstep. To get a government that is more responsive to its people, what you really need are enough parties so that people can switch their allegiance from one to another. And they can bring to bear their numbers, the numbers of citizens, that support an issue that, say, one party may be willing to seize and hang their hat on and say, come join us, let's see what we can get done in this way. Now, there's going to be opposition. I mean, there's always a majority, which means there's always a minority on any topic or issue. And so division is normal. The thing that's abnormal in the United States is the fact that we have two parties that have existed for so long, each in opposition to the other, that what we have are two struggling dictatorships trying to take over America. Both of these organizations have clearly, through history, demonstrated that the allegiance of the membership is to the party and not to the country. They've divided up the issues among themselves and they squabble over them because that makes, well, hey, it makes good drama. Drama means people are paying attention. You want people to pay attention because you want them to come vote for you. I mean, the whole thing is just a show. And, of course, what you end up with is what we have here in the United States, a very dysfunctional form of democracy, where both parties will sit there and yammer back and forth and point fingers at each other. But the only things that they ever really work together on, the only time there's anything like bipartisanship, I mean true bipartisanship, which means not just that both members of the party put together a bill, but that they actually voted it through and got it approved. That kind of bipartisanship is pretty much limited to things that benefit big corporations, things that benefit a military that spans the globe, things that benefit, well, everybody except America. And by that I mean everybody except the people, the general population of America. Pardon me. I mean, they'll make noise. Biden has about inequality. He's touched on it, but quite honestly, I don't expect to see anything done that would reduce inequality, because reducing inequality means that the general population of America has more, which means, of course, the upper class has to have less. It is a zero-sum game. You can't increase the wealth of the general population without decreasing the wealth of the upper class. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. There's only 100%. And if you want to shift the amount of that 100% that everybody's got, well, so there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers, put it in those terms. But unity, a reasonable view of unity, is that you have people who are, while not necessarily agreeing, at least they're agreeing to play by the rules. They're sitting there in Congress, they're sitting there in the Senate, and they vote and advocate for their constituency. And that the fact that the constituency has such a poor choice between the two organizations right now that dominate, well, that's kind of a function of the Constitution. Founding fathers didn't plan on this mess. They were afraid of it. They wrote on it. They said if the day ever comes, well, the day's come. Two organizations that are interested in their own grab for power, two organizations that are interested in appeasing their own sources of income, which is not the general country's population. It's not us. Two organizations that put allegiance to their party above any consideration for the good of the country as a whole. And that's where we are. Unity. Don't be fooled by cries of unity. I can guarantee you, as an example, that both Mitch McConnell or Pelosi, their idea of unity is getting what they want, while not giving the other side what they want. Unity is just, it's a fiction in the way they use the word. To cry for unity and to decry the absence of unity, they do it in such a way that they make us think that the country is horribly divided. Well, you know, guess what? The country's always been divided. I don't know that it's been horrible. But what makes this time remarkable is the fact that there are people who are willing to go to violent lengths. There are people who are willing to challenge the structure of, as poor as it is, the democracy we do have. Had Trump's minions successfully taken over the Capitol, had this attempt at an insurrection and coup actually worked, we would have had ourselves a regime whose opinion goes as follows. We win every election, and if we don't, the election is a fraud. Because we win every election. We don't do anything but win. We're the majority, and we're going to decide what's right for everybody else. I hate that we skirted that close to it. I hate that that's what's going on. That is not unity. That is dictatorship. Unity in a democracy consists of a lot of people who are willing to argue, but at least they're willing to talk. And that's about the most unity you can expect from a truly functioning democracy. So from south of left field, don't be fooled. Unity just means that they're arguing and they're staying in the game. I guess as long as that goes on, things are about as good as we can get, unless we're willing to make a change in the structure of the Constitution. That would be a big argument. So thank you for listening. Please like, please share. And I will try to come out with some more in a more timely manner going forward.